what I like to call Carla's pearls, my hard-earned and hard-learned pearls after being a woman on Wall Street for 29 years. And this morning, I am particularly excited to share with you a few of my personal pearls. I'm going to give you some of the pearls that I would give to my 25-year-old self. That was just yesterday, by the way. These are a few things that I have learned after almost 3 decades on the street, and these are a few things that I have learned throughout my life. And I want you to walk away from this day, which is an amazing day with amazing speakers and amazing opportunities to network, with something that hopefully will be personal to help you to maximize your success in the seat that you're sitting in or the seat that you aspire to sit in. Because frankly, that's what these pearls are all about. So number one, the first personal pearl that I want to leave you with is own your power. Own your power. Everybody in this room has power. Hard-earned, personal, influential currency. But so often, we will allow other people to take our power away by making us doubt whether or not we can make that outsized contribution that the world expects us to make. Everybody in this room has a unique set of strengths and weaknesses, and more importantly, the capacity to acquire more strengths. So it is important that when you walk into a room, I don't care what kind of room it is, you own all of who you are. Your authenticity is indeed at the heart of your power. It is your distinct competitive advantage, because nobody can be you the way that you can be you. So own all of your power and never allow anyone to make you doubt that you can. If you have been invited into the room, you belong into the room. If you are in the room, you belong at the table. And if you're at the table, you must exercise your voice while you are in that room. It is not a mistake that you are in the room. Somebody didn't let you in because you were just another pretty face. So own the fact that you earned the right to be in that room, and you earn the right to be in that seat. The second personal pearl that I want to leave you with today as I write myself this letter is be willing to take risks. Be willing to take risks. That's how you grow. That's how you learn, is by stepping outside of that which you know. But I find so often that we are not willing to take risks. And the reason generally that we don't want to take a risk is that we're scared. We're just scared. It's fear. And hear me clearly, Massachusetts Conference for Women, fear has no place in your success equation. Fear has no place in your success equation. Anytime you approach anything in your life, personally or professionally, from a position of fear, you will always underpenetrate that opportunity. And every time I feel it creeping up the back of my neck, I just remind myself of that old saying, fear is just false evidence of things appearing real. It's really not there. Because what's the worst that can happen if you take a risk and it doesn't work out? So you fail. But guess what? Failure always brings you a gift. And that gift is called experience. Now you know how to do it better. Now you know how to do it differently. Now you know how to do it successfully. At the margin, it is always worth taking the risk. And you must also take the risks on your relationships. If you want to maximize your success in the seat that you're sitting in or the seat that you aspire to sit in, you must invest in other relationships, because you cannot do it alone. There are 2 types of currency in any environment: performance currency and relationship currency. And performance currency is valuable very early on in your career, because performance currency is generated by your delivering that which was asked of you and a little bit extra. Every time you do that, you generate performance currency. And early on in your career, it's worth about $1.50. But here's the deal. Over time, that $1.50 starts to work its way back down to $1. Performance currency experiences diminishing marginal returns. Why? Because now you have created a new standard of excellence. Everybody knows that you will do a great job. Everybody expects that you will deliver. So there's no longer any premium associated with your deliverable. The currency that now becomes more important is the relationship currency. And relationship currency is the currency that is generated by the investments that you make in the people in your environment. None of us work in a silo anymore. We are all working in highly interdependent environments. So at a minimum, you must have a relationship with every seat that touches your seat. Here's why relationship currency is so important. Your ability to ascend in any environment will be a function of somebody's judgment. Judgment about whether or not you're ready. Judgment about whether or not you will be successful. Judgment about whether or not the team will follow you. And ladies, judgments are directly influenced by relationships. Everybody in this room has power, as I said earlier. Hard-earned, personal, influential currency. But I ask you ladies, how many people will use their hard-earned, personal, influential currency on somebody that they do not know? Exactly. So remind yourself that your inability to ascend will never be a function of whether or not somebody likes you, but it absolutely will be a function of whether or not somebody knows you. All of the important decisions about your career are generally made behind closed doors: compensation, promotion, new opportunities. Your performance currency will get you on the list behind closed doors. But when your name is called, if no one can speak on your behalf, they simply go to the next name. So it is imperative that you take the risk to invest in the relationships in your environment. It is key. Pearl number 3, remember that it is much easier to beg for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission. Sometimes you give people the power to tell you no simply because you ask them. Not because they have the power to tell you no, but you ask for permission. If in your heart you know that you know that you know that you should do something, then do it. And if you are wrong, somebody will tell you after the fact, you should not have done that. And you should say, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. But now you have had the experience. Pearl number 4, if you have a guy or a gal that thinks that you are too much for them, they are right. Never, ever apologize for your accomplishments. Never apologize for your hard work and where it has gotten you. Never cover your life for somebody else's convenience. Own all of who you are. If that person thinks you're too much, there is one word: next. The next thing. Number 5, celebrate your victories often. There will be enough that will happen over the course of your life that might make you sad, that might make you pause. So celebrate all of your victories. Take the time to sit in the glory. Celebrate your friends. Celebrate the try. Even if you don't get that which you were trying to get, celebrate the fact that you went for it, that you tried, because it takes courage to step out there, to do anything different, to do anything new, and celebrate that. Pearl number 6, don't worry about making mistakes. Mistakes are a valid and valuable part of the journey. If you don't make a mistake once in a while, then that means you are not trying hard enough. You're not stepping outside of that comfort zone. You are not taking those important risks. Sometimes life comes to bring you the most valuable lesson in the mistake. If you perfectly execute, you don't fully get the value of the exercise. So don't be afraid of making a mistake. There are very few things in life that are irreparable. The next pearl, you don't ask, you don't get. I'll say it again. You don't ask, you don't get. It is your responsibility to manage your career. With all due respect to my HR colleagues in the room, it is not their responsibility to tell you when it's time for the next opportunity or the next stretch assignment. It is not their responsibility to make sure you're getting paid at the highest level. It is your responsibility to make sure that your organizations hear your voice and understand your expectations. And as I said earlier, your voice is at the heart of your power. When you submerge your voice, you become irrelevant. When you become irrelevant, you put a big target on the front and a big target on the back. I'll never forget the first time one of my colleagues said to me, "Oh, I go in every year and tell them what I want to get paid." I thought, oh my gosh, what language do you use? How do you say that? And he said, "I just go in and tell them what I want to get paid." And I said, "I can't do that. I can't go in there and tell those boys what I want to get paid. That doesn't work." But then I began to think to myself,